Greetings and salutations. I hope everybody's having a good day, and let's talk about some Tower of Goat. So, in my last video, I briefly touched upon Phantaminum being something called an Axis. He's an AxisUser. Some people in the comment section didn't know what I was talking about, so this is me explaining the concept. I don't think it's difficult to grasp, however, I want to try to explain it in a way that everyone can get. For the uninitiated, Tower of God is actually a part of a shared universe. It's called Talse User Story. And Axis users are the most powerful beings in this entire shared universe, to the point where if you were a non-Axis user and you were the strongest non-Axis user ever created, you could not beat the weakest Axis user. That's how much power they have. They're just on a completely different level and completely different tier. Now, what do I mean by shared universe? Because I said Tower of God is merely one narrative in the TUS continuity. I want you to kind of think of the MCU, so the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I want you to think about Iron Man being the main character of his trilogy, Captain America, Black Panther in Wakanda, Iron Man's on Earth, New York, Thor is in Asgard, a different dimension. The Guardians of the Galaxy are going through space. I bring that up to say that even though they have their own individual narratives and stories, that doesn't mean the universe itself is not connected and they couldn't run into each other, they couldn't team up or have beef with one another. The Talse User Story universe is similar in that vein, so let's talk about it. Y'all talking time just tick away. You ain't clocking hours on the day. All that watch is stopping what you claim. Dollar crosses real got me name. Hoping God just get me out this game. For the sake of simplicity, I'm not going to talk about the TUS universe in this video. I will explain that in another video itself. But an Axis user has the power to influence a tale. What does that mean? They can write events and history that cannot be altered, changed, or overwritten. If Phantaminum comes to the Tower of God story and says, Bam must not die until he at least reaches the 90th floor, no matter what the fuck happens, he will not die until at least the 90th floor. That's not saying he will die on the 90th floor. That just means after the 90th floor, it's fair game. But until then, he will not die. And there's nothing anyone could do about it. You can't rewrite it. Because remember how I told you that even the most powerful non-Axis user stands no chance against the weakest of Axis users? Not only is Phantaminum one of the strongest in the Talse user universe, I believe he's top 5. Enryu, Jihad, Urek, all the 10 great family head leaders, even if they fought together, they'd stand literally no chance against this man. So that is the general power that all Axis users share across the board. However, they technically have different abilities within each one. What they're allowed to do is kind of create a sphere, this barrier space. Think of like domain expansion. Think of maybe Law's room from One Piece. Within that limited space, whatever their ability is, there is nothing you can do to stop it. If Phantaminum makes a little bit of a room or a sphere, and his ability is no matter what in this sphere, nothing can hit me. You could be the Flash, you can't hit this dude. That's how it kind of works. So you could just kind of literally think of them as gods. They're gods within this universe that can kind of rewrite stuff, establish history in the Tower of God story or other stories that no one can rewrite. So Phantaminum was one of those beings within the grander universe. The way that you could think about it is he basically made a pit stop in the Tower of God universe. Maybe he was bored, flying around, or was interested. He came in the tower, did whatever he wanted to. No one could stop him. He pulled up on Jihad after just completely wrecking his palace and all of his people and minions. Actually ran into Yuri as well and kind of just left, like, because Jihad can't do anything to him in the slightest. He's known as the Riddle because he's basically the most unknown being to ever enter the tower. He had no goals, no motivations, no clear ties to any organizations or people or anything like that. He kind of just came,
wreaked havoc in a way that is so crazy because he's only has one properly recorded battle, and that was enough for people to put him rank 1. It was a bit contentious, but at the end of the day, he's number 1 and Ryu's number 2. And Ryu got bumped down with the entry of Phantaminum coming to the story. Phantaminum was originally a normal human being. After the trials and tribulations that he went through in his own narrative or his own struggles in this shared universe, he became the author of a god of a story in the universe. So ultimately, the big picture takeaway here is that these guys are not to be messed with. They're different. If you are not an Axis user and you see one or you can identify one, do not mess with them. I don't care what ability you have or how strong you are, you will die. You will not win. Urek was told that he would lose convincingly to Phantaminum because there are stories and tales that say that he was chasing him into the tower looking for him. I also want to add that there is nobody in the Tower of God story that's aware of what Phantaminum really is. I hope that explained it to you guys well. I hope you understand what an Axis is moving forward. If anybody has any questions about what an Axis is, send them to this video so they can know. Please like and subscribe, comment on the video, tell me your thoughts. Yeah, thank you guys for listening and have yourselves a mighty fine day.
In my drugs, pour it in my cup, sitting in my darkness with my ghouls, we pouring up. I don't really give a fuck, I don't really have a say. You tell me that I suck, I tell you get up out my face. You got tears in your eyes, looking like a fool.